Hello there. Let's check out if my broadcasts work. Where is it? Where are you hiding of me? I only want to be with you, with my broadcasting. I don't. Maybe it will easier to find it on my PC. Yes, it is. I see it. To find it
What
on my
about
PC.
sound?
Yes, it is. Let's go then. It's my common broadcasting to train my skills, and if I will manage to do this now, of course, next time I will do it much more better than I do it at present, and we will back to for my questions that I was have asked in previous video, and as I remember, I stopped at happiness. Are you a happy person? On the whole, I am happy if we consider this question from both sides. I mean, my prosperity and my health too, but something in my soul trembling of fear that I can't manage with these troubles which occurs around the world, and I don't able to do something with it, and I stay in my study and feel helpless, and I presume that it appears from my soft soul, as I said before. But if you don't care about these who live around you, it's quite strange, because it's quite important to care about your neighbors, and even of these who live far off from you, and are hurting at present. I hope this coffee make me happy this common evening. What usually makes you happy? As I just said, coffee makes me sometimes happy, but when I have too much of this, it make me much more depressed than I am usually, and when I play my games, I feel much more comfortable than I do it when I find myself in some kind of meeting where a crowd of people, and I don't like to speak with someone and find conversation useless if isn't concern particular things that interested for me. And also I like eat delicious kinds, various delicious kinds of food, and often I ask for helping, and usually my meal consists of free courses, and I like to eat I suppose much more than that do most of my acquaintances. Does the weather ever affect how you feel? Mm, I suppose it's do it's it, I suppose it does, because it's rains. I feel quite good, and even I can describe my mm, myself as happy, but I don't like hot days in the summer, when you 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 can't hide even in your house from this warm air, and it's quite get me tired. I much more like rains as it is, and when it rains, often go I often go out on in the street and walk under it more than half an hour, and it made me happy sometimes. What makes you feeling happy? As I think mm, hopeless and helpless to help someone uh, who are pressing who are under pressing this time, and even even if they quite far of me, like Uyghur peoples who suffered from tyranny of China, and all the world is watching at them and can't do anything, or don't want to do it. If I would much more powerful, I really make travel to China, and I could really make travel to China, whether it either economical troubles or military intervention, but I couldn't stay it without interfering, because Jews like to shouting all around the world that Germans were oppressed them, but when we observating what happens in Jerusalem or in China at present, we are neglected with actions, and only can to helpless. Do you think people in your country are generally happy people? I don't think so. And when they express their unhappiness, they occasionally uh, became chauvinist and even Nazis, much more than that were Germans who set up camps for Jews earlier, but it's quite strange that my countrymen express their unhappiness not in direction of government, but in direction of in word of those who didn't make them trouble, like foreigner who live in Russia right now, and it's quite strange, and I suppose that it's due with their coldness and and that they are slaves all the time that we have Russian Federation. Do you have a hobby? Yes, I have hobby, and my hobby learning English and other foreign languages. And also I like to play computer games and watch films and serials in English, because it's helped me to improve my skills. And at present I watch Naruto serial in English, despite I had watched it before in Russian, but I discovered that there are quite interesting actors who dubbed this serial, and it make me happy to have opportunity to watch in original various kinds of films and serials. What equipment do you need for it? Obviously I need computer for watching and playing films and games, and I need many books which behind me in a bookcase. You can observe it from at your monitor. And my hobby not too expensive. It's demand only a few or only little money to make to receive pleasure from it, and I try and put into it much more motivation working as teacher in one of private school, because when you learn something for yourself, it's quite hard to make yourself to learn something. But when you do it for your work, it's much more interesting and exciting. Do you think hobbies should be shared with other people? By all the ways, we should share our hobbies with other people, and even if I learn English in my own study every day, at least 2 or 3 hours. At the end, at the end I have to go at my school and share my skills with my pupils. And even right now I sit before you and trying to express my point on various kind of things and answer questions from IELTS. It's regarding my hobbies too. And even if I play games, it's time by time occurring in online, and we make happy each other indeed, and it's quite good, despite that someone trying to cheat other players or people. Did you have a hobby as a child? I try and call out of my mind what hobby I had, what kind of hobby I had. As all my friends, I played D&D, and it's occupied only a little time of my day, but most part of the day we walk in the street and try to find new journey, and it's quite interesting to notice that we managed to do it every day, and one day never was like another day, and or whether it previous or next day of it. Then occurred many things that I still remember, and alas, but modern children can't, due to things that we did in my childhood, because they are spending all the time at the computer, and all their world due is a technique which entangled their hands and eyes, and they completely devoured with technologies. What hobbies are popular in your country? Two most popular hobbies in my country, of course, drinking and smoking. But if you excess, you of course could find interesting things to do, excluding these things what I described before, like reading, or maybe even attending gym. And I don't think that there are many things to do without money, but even if you have it, only what left to do is visit skiing or other winter events what occurring every year. Whatever you want to do, you will be able only if you have enough money. But if you over than these mere things, you able to find hobbies in such common things like reading or walking in the street. And whatever you want to do, you'd better to have only wish to do it. Why do you think people have hobbies? Maybe it concerns their temper, or even what occurred with them in their childhood, and it's appeared as a hobby at the end. But I think without hobby, even if it's regard with your job, man can be you don't think how to describe it. It's quite hard to do. Substantially considering yourself, it's you can't tear the things from you, and it's as important as work or sleeping, and maybe even eating, and it's undescribable things we must have, and even if someone spending all their free time in work, it can be considered as hobby too. And without hobby, our life could turn off into something dull and meaningless, I suppose. No one left a message. How often do you go online? Oh, I go online as often as I can, whether I use my phone or turn on my computer. If all regards to online, and in accordance with it, I have to make a decision to stop do it, at least from my phone, though it's quite hard to perform, and you, I suppose, understand why. What do you use the internet for? Occasionally I use it for translating words when I learn foreign languages, and for finding new information about rules in English, and to fix my mistakes, what I had performed, but even it quite useful for playing with other people in computer games, and watching unlimited kinds of serials and films too. How do you get online? It's quite easy. I only turn on my computer or phone. It's working with Wi-Fi from phone, and completely and completely its own computer. What's your favorite website? I don't have any, excluding of course YouTube, maybe, if we consider YouTube as a website, but I do it as much more than a common website where we entering to take some information about something. I see it like enormous and gorgeous platform where you able to find any information concerning you. Do you think children should be allowed unsupervised access to the internet? I don't think so, and if we can to observe right now ratings for two obscene singers and channels, and even stupid ones, make exactly children who don't have any brains, and even their parents don't look after these children, and after all they appears in internet and left and writing down comments and like and left like under these stupid videos. What now situated and occupied trends in YouTube. Leisure time. What is your favorite leisure activity? I'd better often visit gym if I could, but I like to run across the street and attend gym. Also, I quite often read something regards my profession, and with pleasure play computer games, as I said in previous topic. What did you enjoy doing in your free time as a child? It's same kinds of questions that we had in hobbies. I don't think I should to answer it. Do you prefer to spend your free time with other people or alone? When I was child, I with pleasure walk in the street with my friends, and we did quite interesting things every day, and all my childhood can be considered as one big journey. But today I don't have any friends, because I don't like to have a conversation without a particular team, and if you meant, of course, common conversation, like deal something and call him or maybe meet in the park and spend time discussing something usual like life, others, friends, and things like this. But I don't like it, and I feel much more convenient when I stay alone with these things what I like to do, or have conversation about particular theme what concerns me, or my interests. I look like homeless. What is a common leisure activity in your country? It seems it's quite easy to describe. That's common leisure in my country. Of course, drink alcohol and smoking. But I can. In addition, I can say that in winter there is popular kinds of sports like skiing and other sorts of winter time spending. Do most people in your country get 2 days off a week? I can't. It's better to say that they have, but I found that more of artists who work don't have 2 days off a week because their employers break their rights, and no one can help them with it because our government completely corrupted, and you may consider yourself a slave at the end, but these who work on themselves, they quite free with their time and work only for herself, not for their employers. Do you think leisure time is important? I think leisure time much more important than they think about it, because leisure time it's your free time, and you able to do whatever you want, whether it's lying on the sofa, on playing games, and even it might be writing a book or learning something. It's your leisure time is yourself as it is, and your work time only often only means of earning it and no more. It's about time I go off. I am going off, and I wish I had next time. I will be more how can I describe it? More I don't know what I wanted to say. It's better I go off. Thank you for watching this video. See you next time.